The Minnesota Vikings 2025 training camp begins with one singular and inescapable central narrative: McCarthy's rise to the starting quarterback position. After a full year of rehabilitation, the question hanging over the Vikings training facility is not whether he has talent, but rather which version of the second-year quarterback the team will get. He is under constant scrutiny, taking control of Kevin O'Connell's offensive system that has proven capable of maximizing production at the quarterback position, a true plug-and-play environment featuring elite weapons such as Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Hawkinson. The front office's decision not to bring in a veteran to compete directly solidifies confidence in McCarthy, but also removes any safety net. His performance is the pendulum that will determine not only the Vikings' season, but also the balance of power across the entire NFC North division. For McCarthy's potential to be unlocked, attention turns immediately to the trenches, specifically to the complete overhaul of the interior offensive line. Interior pressure was the weak point that sabotaged the offense in crucial moments last year, and General Manager Adolfo Mensa executed a key plan to correct this vulnerability along the offensive line. The acquisition of veterans Ryan Kelly as center and Will Fries as guard, both with proven experience, combined with the first-round pick guard Donovan Jackson, creates on paper a strong and robust interior wall. However, the analysis cannot ignore the health factor. Kelly and Fries are coming off injury-plagued seasons, and the team's star left tackle Christian Darrisaw is also returning from an injury that ended his season early. The success of this unit will be measured not only by the quality of the starters, but also by their ability to stay on the field without injuries. The training camp will be the first real test of the group's cohesion, and more importantly, its durability, which is the foundation upon which the entire offensive game plan will be built. It is this interdependence between the quarterback and his protection that creates two distinct and tangible scenarios for the offense. In the first, McCarthy, mentally sharp after a year studying the playbook, demonstrates he is fully recovered. His functional mobility adds a new dimension to bootleg and play-action plays, forcing defenses to respect a threat that did not exist before. In this scenario, the Vikings offense operates at its maximum potential from the start. The second scenario, however, is more cautious. In this one, McCarthy shows signs of adjusting to the speed of the professional game and is still regaining full confidence in his knee. Kevin O'Connell's tactical response in this case will be to heavily rely on the strength of his new offensive line and a physical running game. And this is where the signing of Jordan Mason becomes a key strategic move. Mason, a power runner who attacks the line of scrimmage, was brought in to be the ideal complement to Aaron Jones. One possible strategy is to use Mason for the heavy work in the trenches, absorbing wear and tear, and allowing Jones to be preserved for the decisive moments of games and throughout the season. This backfield dynamic is not just about rotation. It is a game management mechanism designed to reduce pressure on McCarthy and allow him to develop without having to carry the offense from the first snap. While the offensive narrative centers on cohesion and development, the training camp will also serve as the stage for the roster's most critical positional battle, determining the number 2 cornerback. With Byron Murphy firmly established as the primary starter, a fierce competition emerges for the opposite spot. The group is a case study in distinct profiles. Blackman seeks to prove he can return to his pre-anterior cruciate ligament injury level. Isaiah Rodgers is an athletic player who has shown flashes of high-level performance but still needs to prove his consistency as a full-time starter. And Jeff Okudah, the former 3rd overall draft pick by the Detroit Lions, represents the high-risk, high-reward scenario as he finally aims to translate his pedigree into on-field production. The decision here directly impacts defensive coordinator Brian Flores' philosophy. His preference for 3 safety formations has been a hallmark, but Bynum's departure leaves a vacancy. Will Flores trust Theo Jackson to execute this complex role, or will uncertainty within this group push the front office to seek a veteran in the market before the season begins? The secondary's depth and reliability remain the biggest defensive question, and answers will begin to emerge under the pressure of training camp drills. Amid these high-profile positional battles, the competition for the final roster spots promises to be equally intense and revealing of the team's priorities. The number 3 wide receiver position, for example, is a microcosm of this contest. The selection of Ty Felton in the 3rd round surprised many, but his speed and route running ability make him an immediate candidate to contribute, especially considering the possibility of a suspension for Jordan Addison. He is not just a piece for the future, he is positioned to compete for a meaningful role from day one. Likewise, the punt returner position is completely open. The arrival of Silas Bolden, one of the most electrifying returners in college football, with a 40-yard dash time of 4.38 seconds, directly addresses one of the team's biggest shortcomings over recent seasons. Bolden's ability to change field position on special teams could be the key factor in securing his spot on the roster. These under-the-radar competitions are critical because it is in these battles that the true depth of a playoff team is built, revealing players capable of filling specific roles that can decide close games. The fight for roster spots extends deeply into the defensive rotation, particularly along the line. While veterans like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave were brought in to solidify the interior line, the Brian Flores system relies on a wave approach, keeping players fresh and aggressive. This creates a significant opportunity for young talents seeking not just a roster spot, but an expanded role. Players such as Jalen Redmond, who showed flashes of disruption late last season, and rookie Levi Drake Rodriguez will be under constant evaluation. The training camp will serve as their proving ground to earn the coaching staff's trust. The question is not only whether they can perform their assignments, but whether Flores can trust them in high-pressure situations to increase their snap count per game. This rotational depth is what separates a good defensive line from an elite unit capable of sustaining pressure for 4 quarters, especially in January. This win-now mentality has shaped the entire roster construction for 2025. Coming off a 14-win season, there is no intention of taking a step back. The front office was aggressive in free agency spending significantly to address immediate needs, because the team's core is veteran-led and the window to compete is now. Players like Harrison Smith do not return to take part in a rebuild. They come back because they believe the pieces are in place for a deep playoff run. This urgency creates internal pressure, not born of fear of failure, but rather a drive to execute and capitalize on the present opportunity. The late-season losses from last year, especially against the Rams, were not just defeats. They were lessons that solidified the need to become a more physical and dominant team in the trenches. The changes made during the offseason were a direct response to this need, designed to build a team that not only performs well in October, but can impose its will in decisive playoff games. This pressure ultimately centers on the quarterback. McCarthy's success will be measured not just by his statistics, but by his ability to manage an offense built to win now. His history at Michigan shows a strong tendency to utilize his tight ends, which positions Hockenson now fully healthy for a season of high production. Hockenson and Josh Oliver are not just safety valves. They are central pieces in the play-action scheme designed to attack the middle of the field and create easy passing windows for the quarterback. The development of chemistry between McCarthy and his tight ends will be one of the most important focal points of training camp, as this connection can keep the offense on track and convert crucial third downs. The structure is in place. The talent around him is unquestionable. Now it all comes down to execution. The training camp will be a period of testing in a high-intensity environment where expectations are clear and the standard is winning a playoff game. Thank you.